Good morning. On March 3rd, Mr. Reshod Everett filed a petition for the removal of Cumberland County District Attorney Billy West. In the petition, he detailed examples of prosecutorial misconduct by DA West and urged Judge Jim Ammons to hold Cumberland County's lead prosecutor accountable for prejudicial administration of justice. The allegations contained in the petition are serious and are being handled as such. In addition to the Superior Court, Mr. Everett and his legal team have corresponded with the United States Department of Justice and his legal team, the Office of the North Carolina State Attorney General, Josh Stein, the North Carolina State Bar, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. So why all the fuss? Why all the blaring alarms and legal challenges? Here's why. Mr. Everett and the community that supports him in this fight for justice realize that this is bigger than one case. We realize that the patterns of prejudicial administration of justice stand to impact not just Reshod Everett, but thousands of other Cumberland County residents who don't have platforms with which to defend themselves. We realize that a district attorney who turns a blind eye to police misconduct and police cover-ups is an existential threat to the freedom of any Cumberland County resident. Here's how it happens in real time. Ask yourself if this sounds right. A Cumberland County resident is arrested and accused of a crime. Fayetteville police officers are videotaped, bringing evidence into the home of the accused resident. The accused resident is then jailed across the street, and if he or she can come up with bail funds, they are released until a trial date. If he or she is too poor to afford bail, they will languish in jail for what could be more than a year as the legal process unfolds. We'll use this as an opportunity to address systemically ending cash bail in Cumberland County, because we all know how unethical that entire process is. Imagine, if you will, before you can get back home or pretrial release, your face is on all major news channels. The Fayetteville Police Department has used its in-house news reporter to release details of charges against you, sprinkling in false allegations of gang affiliation or drug use. At that point, you're publicly criminalized for the first time. Whether the allegations are true or not, to everyone in your world, the perception of the propaganda-filled news outlets is that you're a criminal. In Reshod Everett's case, the FPD officers were even seen on camera telling his neighbors to watch the news. It's not right. Here at the courthouse, the DA and his team push a list of trumped-up charges designed to make you take a plea bargain. The DA ignores the fact that evidence was brought into your home. He is fixated on getting you to plea. For most criminalized and accused, the weight of those allegations and the potential for a long-time jail sentence is enough to elicit a plea. It is their word against the system, an army of law enforcement officers, lawyers, and judges. It's estimated that about 94% of statewide felony convictions are a result of the plea bargain. Reshod was supposed to be one of the 94%. He's supposed to be starting a lengthy felony sentence in a remote corner of rural North Carolina. We submit to you that the only reason he is here with us today is because he had the foresight to install a Ring security camera on his door to catch FPD bringing in evidence to his home. The only reason he hasn't joined the more than 67,000 North Carolina residents currently locked in cages like animals is because we can clearly see police misconduct via videotaped evidence. Reshod knows that and has the courage to fight not just for himself, but for the 94%. He has the conviction to address the prosecutor who has overlooked police misconduct in his case, as well as the cases of Kevin Brissett in 2014, Nigel Hagans in 2013, and Lawrence Graham III, 2013. We realize that injustice is at times systemic, and that an individualized approach to addressing the ills of that system leaves tens of thousands out in the cold. All of us or none of us. We urge everyone who is watching this press conference to go to Reshod Everett's Facebook or look up the video on YouTube and then ask yourself, why can this even happen in America? How many times has this happened in this community? All of us or none of us. Who stands up for the victims of police misconduct? Is it Mayor Colvin? Is it Community Council member Kathy Jensen, whose responsibility it was to speak on behalf of Mr. Everett? Is it the county commissioners? Is it the police chief, Gina Hawkins? Is it the internal affairs? Is it the news media? Is it even our community activists who are often too caught up in a game of blue versus red to even address individual actions of injustice in their own community? Mr. Everett formally petitioned Cumberland County Superior Court's Judge Ammons to relieve DA Billy West due to repeated incidences of prosecutorial misconduct. The complaint includes his complicity in the alleged cover-up of police misconduct in the Everett case, as well as several other Cumberland County prosecutions. In November of 2019, community members raised allegations of Fayetteville Police Department corruption and cover-up. Fayetteville native Reshod Everett released details of Fayetteville Police Department misconduct in a press conference held directly in front of the police station. Among the allegations Mr. Everett levied, the FPD brought illegal drugs and paraphernalia into his residence and later released pictures to the public to create the perception that these items were found in the house. FPD fabricated circumstances in order to create grounds for a search warrant. FPD released initial allegations of gang involvement to the press in an effort to sway public opinion in the case prior to the conviction. FPD has not released full details of officer resignations and disciplinary actions regarding this case, instead operating in silence and hiding behind a veil of secrecy that has spawned suspicions of illegality and the perception of impropriety. On September 9th, 2019, local activists publicly notified the Fayetteville City Council of these allegations against the FPD. These answers remain unanswered. Questions about two officers specifically involved in the investigation: Officer Byrd, who separated from the Fayetteville Police Department on August 11, 2019, and Officer Harding, who separated from police department on April 12, 2019. According to the North Carolina Department of Justice, neither individual currently holds certification as a law enforcement officer in North Carolina. We called on DA Billy West to include them on a Brady list of officers who cannot testify in a court of law and who will no longer be employed in the services of the city of Fayetteville. We repeat calls for the establishment of citizen review boards for both the Fayetteville Police Department and the Cumberland County Sheriff's Department, citing numerous cases of misconduct by both agencies over the last several years. The CRB has been modeled in hundreds of municipalities across the United States as a vehicle for community oversight of local police. Today, Mr. Everett is joined by members of Fayetteville Police Accountability Community Task Force, the PACT, and other allies in North Carolina's justice reform movement. We call on everyone impacted by mass incarceration to join our calls for the systemic change and for justice for all. All of us or none of us. Thank you.